Listen, y'all. Listen, the Baltimore Ravens, they got a chance, okay? They got a chance. A 41-24 victory over the Green Bay Packers. And we had to wait a little bit because we had to see just what the Week 18 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers really meant. Look, I'm about to hit y'all with this rapid recap. We got to have this conversation about these Baltimore Ravens. What have they done? We're gonna try to do it in 5 minutes or less. We'll see. We'll see how y'all doing. We'll see how we doing. We gotta talk about it though. And look, it's got very, very interesting over just the past 24 hours. It's gotten very, very interesting. So let's talk about it. Let's do it. This is your rapid recap right here on the Be More Show. All right, y'all, what's going on? Look, listen, let's talk. So, the Baltimore Ravens, they got that win, okay? They did. Look, on Saturday night, the Baltimore Ravens got that win. They were dominant in the run game. The defense was awful. But that's okay. That's okay. They got the win, and that's what matters. They leaned into Derrick Henry. That's what matters. And I put the title Frustrated but Hopeful, right? I put that title because I'm frustrated because the offense played well. Right? No Lamar Jackson, which always sucks, but to see this offense come out and play well against, honestly, a pretty good defense, right? I think the Packers are a pretty good defense. I think, and it's been a while since I looked at it, but for a while there, the Packers hadn't given up 17 points in all but like one game, right? So, and this was a while back. This was back when they played the Panthers, but still, like the Packers defense has been good. But it's kind of interesting, right? The Baltimore Ravens showed rushing dominance. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I do know that, maybe we'll look at them again tomorrow. But I do know this. I think Derrick Henry had about 216 yards. I feel like I saw it on ESPN today. 216 yards rushing. Absolutely dominant. And it's kind of like, the reason I'm frustrated is, why didn't you just do this last week? He was averaging 7 yards a carry. Why didn't you look, I'm about to get frustrated already, and I'm trying not to be. Yolanda B, what's up? How you doing? Check out my girl Yolanda B. But look, I'm frustrated, right? Why didn't you just do this last week? I think that's what you responded to. Right? Like, why didn't you just do this last week? And we wouldn't be in a position to wait for the Browns to maybe beat the Steelers for a chance to possibly get in. Your quarterback gets hurt in the second quarter. You have a chance. You have a chance against the Patriots to honestly put the nail in the coffin. Derrick Henry had just scored. Your defense was playing decent enough. You had a chance. Why this game? Now, look, can I give a little bit of credit to the coaching staff for at least making some adjustments? But honestly, common sense shouldn't be this hard, right? Common sense shouldn't be this hard. Derrick Henry is averaging 7 yards per carry in a game. Give him the football. That's exactly what you did in this game. The Green Bay Packers had no stop for Derrick Henry. 0. No stop for anybody, really. Keaton played well, too. They had no stop for any portion of the run game. You're playing with a backup quarterback. Don't put too much pressure on him. That's what good coaches do. Good coaches put the right guys in the proper positions to be successful. Now, if you look at what happened against the Patriots, we can call in the question. The coaching. Yeah, exactly. Where was the proper usage of Henry all season? Shout out to Yolanda B. Let me shout out to the rest of y'all, too. Shout out to you. I think Bryson up in here. Shout out to you. But look, how to your sister? What's up? What's up to your sister? But look. Like Yolanda B just said, great point. Where was the proper usage of Derrick Henry all year long? And sometimes I wonder, right? Because I feel like sometimes it's okay to have a special teams coach as your head coach if they're going to really let the masters be the master. I think that's okay. We've seen this with defensive coaches. We've seen defensive coaches. Let's put the Houston Texans out there, for example. DeMeco Ryans, defensive coach, right? DeMeco Ryans is a defensive coach. But let me tell you, DeMeco Ryans lets the offense, he lets the guy he hired to be his offensive coordinator do what he does best. Now, I don't know if that's the case right now, but I feel like sometimes, I feel like sometimes, I feel like sometimes I don't know if John Harbaugh truly has control of this team. But look, the other frustrating part about this team is the defense. Like, I know we thought it was awful. Do I have to do this? 6-7? Like, I've actually never done 6-7 on the streak. Okay, like I've never done it. But anyway, look. If you do know that, I appreciate it. If you don't, I mean, I just did that for fun. But look, the defense is awful. Like, they've been awful all year, consistently, and that is a correlation to your head coach, because your head coach hires your offensive and defensive coordinators. Just does, right? He just does. So I think the fact that Zach Orr's been awful for the second year in a row, and I'm a little confused about Monken. It makes me wonder if it's John Harbaugh. Makes me wonder. Don't know. But still, I'm just a little frustrated, right? I'm just a little frustrated by this team, and for them to win the way they did against one of the teams that was at the top of the NFC early on in this season, and probably still a really good team. I'm okay with that, right? But I am frustrated. I'm okay with the win, but I'm frustrated with the lack of consistency from this team. It's just frustrating. I'm trying not to be, but I am, right? Because then you got the Steelers this week, and will you do what brought you to the dance? That's my whole thing, right? And look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm probably gonna say some things throughout this week because I have some things I've been meaning to say, but I gotta say them before it's too late, right? I have to say them before it's too late. So throughout this week, I will be dropping a couple things that I've been feeling all season long. I just haven't had a chance to say, and I almost didn't get the chance because the Ravens decided they did not that they were not trying to make the playoffs, or at least make the route easy, right? But we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. I just don't understand it, right? I'm frustrated. I'm trying not to be. I'm really not. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to be so frustrated, but I am. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated, and I'm trying not to be, but I feel like this team, and you know, to be, just said it in the comments, and I'm about to bring it up, but I feel like this team, like, they're so close, right? It's the worst type of bubble team you probably can be, because you can't fire your coach justifiably. I know the fans have called for it. You can't fire your coach justifiably, but also at the same time, it's like, how long do you do the same thing and get the same results and not take a look in the mirror? How long? Yes, we have too much talent on this team to be able to be getting by all over the place, with the exception of maybe offensive line. Okay, but everything else, I mean, we have the receivers on the outside that for whatever reason we don't want to get involved. We have a Hall of Fame running back that we don't want to consistently feature. We have, I'm just going to say this now, it's going to frustrate some people, I don't really care. We have a Hall of Fame quarterback who we just say, go play hero ball, bye. That's how it works. Just go play hero ball. We don't scheme up things to make it easier, right? Because honestly, this run game is easy. Just is. I talked about this before. I talked about this when Derrick Henry got signed. This running game is so easy because Derrick Henry is a dog, a bona fide dog. And you know he's going to get his. And Lamar Jackson's threat is dog-like too, because you know he's going to get his. It hasn't been, we haven't seen this much this year with injuries and all that. And you know he can dice you up with his arm. So it's like, offensively, there shouldn't even really be the issues. Defensively, I think it's coaching more than anything. And it goes back to what Yolanda B just said. This defense is too talented to play as bad as they do. They just are. Like, I think that's the biggest part of frustration that I have is the amount of money we spend on this defense. The talent that we have. We have first-round picks all over this defense. We can't get to the passer. We let Malik Willis dot us up over on All-Pro Marlowe, on first-round corner Nate Wiggins. Kyle Hamilton looked lost. This defense is frustrating to me. You know, like I think honestly, Roquan Smith is a semi-bright spot on this defense. If we want to talk about the bad versus the bad, that's just me. Shout out to Real Ring. We didn't go get a line on offense, and no one can consistently get pressure on the quarterback. Exactly. The two, and this is the two biggest things that we've talked about for how long? I mean, we've been talking about. This is the crazy part, Real Ring. Shout out to you. This is the crazy part. We've been talking about how bad this offensive line is for at least 2 years. Honestly, it's been since Lamar Jackson was drafted, since Marshall Yonder retired, more than anything. We've been talking about this. And we have been talking about pass rush, the pass rush issues since Matt Judon walked out the door. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's fireable within itself. It just is, y'all. It just is. I'm frustrated. I'm trying not to be. But look, I got some things I got to get off my chest. I'm not going to do it today because I'm supposed to be 5 minutes or less, but I went like 20 already. But look, I'm supposed to be 5 minutes or less on this rapid recap. But I promise y'all, I got some things I want to get off my chest before it's too late, and I'm going to throughout the week. So y'all stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notifications on so you know what's going on. So look, there's a chance, y'all. There's a chance. And I got some things I want to say about that too. There's a chance, y'all, that the Ravens get into the playoffs. There's a chance that the Ravens get into the playoffs. And once you're in, who knows, right? Once you're in, who knows? We're going to talk about that later on in the week. But look, y'all, I appreciate y'all as always. My live viewers for hanging out with us. Y'all on the beat, shout out to you. I know you have a channel. I don't know if Real Ring has a channel, but, you know, check out Real Ring regardless. Like, it don't even matter regardless. But I appreciate all y'all for coming by. If y'all still hanging out with us, let me know down below. But look, y'all, are y'all frustrated or is it just me? But we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Be More Show. Until next time, this has been our